Okay guys, welcome back. In this class I will be teaching us how to change backgrounds, to remove backgrounds of pictures using different tools. Now, in the removal of background of pictures, many tools can be used for it. We have the lasso tool, we have the magic wand tool. We can even use the mark tool to remove background. We have the eraser tool, and the most accurate and precise tool is the pen tool. But we'll be taking it slowly till we get to the pen tool. So let me bring out the picture which we'll be working with. So I'll be using this particular picture. Remember, the first thing to do is to open your background. But I would like to teach us to chip in something. Instead of just opening your background and start to work, I prefer using the duplicate, so the original background remains untouched in case maybe I've gone to a certain extent and there are a lot of mistakes. The original file will still remain like that. So it's left for you. That one is a personal choice. So for me, I just duplicate using Ctrl J. So anything I'm working with now, I'm working with this layer, and this one is still remaining intact. Then when I'm through with this one, I'm satisfied. I can open this one, then just delete. So now let me zoom out so we can see. I'll be using, first of all, the lasso tool. And remember, in our last class I said, anytime you see a point like this, it means it has other options of that particular tools which you can select from. So now right click on it. We have the lasso tool, we have the polygonal, and we have the magnetic lasso tool. So now let me show us how these different tools work. Now this is for the lasso tool. You select the point, I'm looking for a good point to select from. The selection of points now is by choice. The selection of points is by choice. So I choose this point. You left click. After you have selected, you made your choice of points to work from. You left click on it, then start dragging. Drag round to the edges of the picture you want to cut. That's how it works. So I'll be having a rough sketch of this. That's that because we zoomed out now. That is the disadvantage of this lasso tool. If it was pen tool, we are using to remove the background. Once you drag down, it takes you down. But for the lasso tool, it just remains like that, and once you release your hand from the left click of your mouse, it automatically selects its point. And now this is not the point I was trying to select. I have to go back. Lasso tool does not have an end point. Okay, just go back to this last place you selected for. No, once you make a mistake, you are going to start over. So you have to make sure your workspace is set, is well organized and well set, because immediately you start till you get your point completely, you are not leaving your hand, you are not removing your hand from the left click, which is also quite stressful. So let's try again now that we have the full workspace. So I'm dragging. Like I said, I'll be using rough sketch so it can be fast. So drag to this point. Now you are dragging down to the point which you started from. Once you get there, you just release your hand from the left click of your mouse. It automatically selects. You can see now the part I need is now selected. Now to get this part, there are different ways which you can get this part, which is this particular selected part. There are different ways which you can take it from the main picture. Is either we remove the background. To remove the background, as it's like this, you can right click on it, select inverse, let me go back. As you have selected the picture, the part that you need, you right click on it, then you see select inverse. What is select inverse means is that the inverse of your selection, which is now you want to get the other parts that you have not selected. That is the meaning of select inverse. If for instance now we didn't select this particular picture that is here, maybe we selected the background and we do select inverse, any effect we make on the picture will be only on this picture that is here. I don't know if you understand. When you click on select inverse on a particular selection you have made, it is the remaining parts that you didn't select that will now be selected. So anything you do to that picture will reflect on that part you didn't select at the initial start. So after selection like this, you press delete. When you press delete like this, you can still right click, then deselect, or use Ctrl D. So now it's only this picture now that we have successfully removed the background for this. As you can see, it's very rough, really rough. So let's try another tool. Okay, let's try another tool, and let's use the polygonal lasso tool. And this one is somewhat like the normal lasso tool. You still select a point, a preferred point of your choice. So what I did was that when you have selected when you have made your choice of point, just click on it. Like you click your mouse. For those of us using external mouse, you left click on it. Then that left clicking on it, you go to another point, you touch again. You go to another point, you touch. So this one, when you get to one point, you touch, just like indicating that okay, I need this point. You touch again. So as I'm going around the picture, that's how you'll be touching. So now if I come here, now I want us to notice something. As I am like this, it is still showing that I still want to remove background. I still want to get to another point. But once I get to this starting point, you can see a circle that is there. This is indicating that okay, yes, I've come to the starting point and I am ready to select. Once I remove it from there, now the ball point gets off. Once I put it back, it gets on, which is yes, I'm ready to select. Then you just double click here. Now this part is selected. I can delete. Then maybe I go to another part again. I select. These particular tools, lasso tool and magic wand tool, therefore mostly beginners. So I get to this point again, I double click. Remember, when you get to the last point or when you are done with your selection, you just double click. Does not necessarily mean that you have to get to this point. For instance, I can be here and I say okay, I'm done with my selection. If I double click from this place, it will be selected. Like let's see I double clicked, I didn't get to the starting point and it got selected. So you press your delete key on your keyboard to remove that particular part. Then deselect, you either right click, you see deselect, or you use Ctrl D to deselect. So you go to another part again. As I keep so I'll be rushing it, so the work might be a little bit off. Please, I'll take just a special day to teach about the pen tool. So that one is really important. You can use it to do a lot of job. So get to a point, you click. Get to a point, you click. Now I'm here. I don't need to get to this point. Once I just double click to get selected, then I just delete and Ctrl D. So you see now, I have successfully removed the background of this picture. So that is that for the polygonal lasso tool. So now let's get on to the magnetic lasso tool. Magnetic lasso tool is almost like the polygonal lasso tool. This one, same thing. No, this one is almost like the normal lasso tool, but you don't have to use the left click. Once you just click, it begins to magnet itself. So this one, just like you can see, immediately I just going around the part you want to cut, it just begins to pick up the point itself. But for the polygonal, you'll be the one selecting the point, and for the lasso tool, you'll be the one to hold the left click. See it as I'm going like that to be selecting itself. You can see I've reached the starting point. The ball point as well came out. Ball point came out in this place as well. So all I have to do is double click. This part is selected, you delete. Control D. Go down that part, select again, select. You come back to the start point, you click, that part is selected, you delete again. So if you know you are really fast, you can just do it once and for all, or you follow the pattern that I gave. Select the picture first, select the main picture that you need, then you do the select inverse, anyone that you know is faster with you. You can see just picking the point, it's automatically selecting and magneting the point by itself. You can see this one I selected, and I'll right click on it, select inverse. Then once it selects, the inverse is selected, I just delete, everything is gone. So now we have also successfully removed the background. So now let's see how can we apply this removal of background to picture, to designs. Let me open the one I did. Okay. So now we've learned how to use the text tool in our first class, and this one we've gotten insights on how to remove backgrounds. So now let's blend the two, because it's just the two tools that I use for this particular work, the text tool and the removal of background. So let's just assume we are not putting the text on this particular picture. I created a new workspace for this one, which is okay. Let me create a new workspace. Use 4,000 by 3,000. Okay. So now we have removed the background. See the advantage of removal of background. Just imagine I didn't remove the background and I want to use for editing of picture. And see how it is. The background is still reflecting. The background of the picture you are trying to edit is still reflecting on the new workspace. Now compare it to this. Let me go back. You can see now. This one you can be able to do anything you want to do with it. So after scaling, you enter. Then don't forget that part. After removal of background, after you have removed your background, you want to create something like this. So you drag it down to the new workspace. After dragging, you release. How do you drag? You come to this where you want to drag. Once you get there, make sure your move tool is selected. Dragging is just like you are moving it from the initial space to another position. So you left click and you begin to draw your mouse to the place which you want to drag it to. Take it here and just release. That's all. Then if it's too big or too small, you scale according to your preference. So I believe this one is okay for me. Then what text? Next is what text 2. So now I've clicked on my text 2. And I come to the workspace. How we did it the last time. You type thank you. Now it's white because that was the last color I used in my last Photoshop work. So we're using red. You can see the font that is there. So I'll be using, I think that should be the new signature. So now it's too small. You increase. Okay. This one is still okay. It's okay. So now you can see that the text is on our headwear. So I explained the purposes of layer panel in the last class. Now when you check it, the thank you layer is above the picture layer. That is why in the workspace it's reflecting like that. So you just come here, you drag. You can see now, at least people can see that this is indicating a thank you, and the thank you is not obstructing our face. So now you can do some small touch on the picture. You go to image, work on it, adjustment. We're not getting into that now, but if you like to play along with it, you can just do that. Once for photo retouching, where you add some filters. So let's just say we are okay with how the work is now. It's somewhat like this one. Now if you notice in this one, you can see is let me zoom. can see the body of this text. How we got this is very simple. You can just play along with. You come here, you right click, come to the layer, you right click, you can see blending option. You get it? Come to this place, you right click, you see blending options there. You see many options, then you can start playing with it. Add your drop shadow. So that is it. That one is based on your own preference as well. So press OK. Okay, now if you are satisfied with the work, you can save. Remember I said always keep your raw file. Always keep your raw files, please. Your raw file first before even the format which you are trying to save as. So now I've saved my raw file. In case of any changes, I can just quickly go to my raw file and make the change. So now I want to save as image. So that's all. Let's see our result. Now this is our result. So you can see how removal of background and text now works in creating design. So as the time goes by, I'll be bringing other things, rectangle, ellipse tool, gradient, to create a complete design. So just be taking it little by little. I'll see you all later. So we can all watch and practice now. I'll be expecting your result as well. Thank you.